Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to This Is Not Happening, another X-Files podcast. Top 3, bottom 3 awards show for season 7. We're here, Andrew. It's happening.
Who would have thought it would have ever gotten to this point?
We are officially done with season 7, and now we're going to spend a little bit of time just reliving it. The goods, the bads, the ups, the downs, all the in-between stuff. And we have a special guest, Andrew. Why don't you introduce our special guest?
Indeed. Some of you may recognize the dulcet tones of our special guest tonight. But singing as that, Vic has some experience in top 5 lists. I thought it would be very appropriate that she should join us for our top 3, bottom 3 episode of the recap of season 7. So, ladies and gentlemen, Vic, thank you for joining us again.
Hi, thanks for having me back. I had a great time talking about Millennium with you, so I'm very happy to be back.
And so accordingly, you rewatched all of season 7, just like you rewatched all 3 seasons of Millennium for that episode.
Of course, yes.
Excellent.
Top to bottom, and then back to front, just to make sure.
Well, yeah, you got to make sure you have the right choices because a lot is riding on these decisions. People really hold us to a high standard.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes without saying that all of us have made our choices for the 3 episodes we thought were the best of season 7, and the 3 episodes we thought were not the best of season 7. In fact, perhaps the worst of season 7.
Worst.
And I'm wondering if we're going to have any alignment on those.
I'm betting we will have alignment for the bad ones. I did not go obvious for the good ones. At least in my head. So, I mean, for those who listen, this is one of the things that I try to do. I try to be fair. And obviously, if you come into a best of, worst of with one that everyone thinks is the best, it's like, let's pick something that's not obvious. So I do try to go that way and give other episodes a little bit of a fair shake. And, you know, I'll omit episodes from my choices just to be a little more interesting.
Yeah, you got to have something to talk about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Can't all just agree with each other. Where's the fun?
Absolutely. Right. But I will die on my choices. So if you all don't agree with me, you're horrible people.
Well, we'll never speak again.
I feel pretty passionately about mine as well, going both ways. But I think, like I said, I think we'll have more in common on the worst stuffs, but we'll see.
I think you are probably right. So with all that out of the way, we of course send all of our choices to Deloitte & Touche for official validation, as is standard with top 3, bottom 3 rules. And the envelopes have come back and we all have them certified, 16 copies. The man with the briefcase was especially imposing this year, but I gave him some cookies and he did what he was supposed to do. So
He was
with that,
red.
Yeah, he was all dressed in red and he drove a really weird sleigh pulled by reindeer. It was very strange. But with that, Vic, why don't you start us off by giving us your least worst of the top 3 for season 7?
It would behoove everyone how this is going to work. We're going to go through our least favorite episodes, 3, 2, 1, 1 being the absolute worst of each individual choice or person's choice. And then we're going to do best of. So 3, 2, 1 there, 1 being our favorite episode. So go ahead, lead us off.
My least favorite, no, my least of my least favorite episode.
Right, okay.
The one you like the most of the least.
The one I like
episodes.
the most of the episodes
Let me give you
like
some
the least.
Preemptive drum roll here.
Episode 20, Fight Club.
Hey.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, that's a solid opener. And
boy.
I know there's some people on the forum who thought that was the worst, not only of season 7, but of the entire series. So
it's a bit of a stinker. Yeah. It has its moments and it's got some fun to it, but I didn't. Suzuki did it better in season 3. Like
100%.
The whole convergence of like twins and like people having things in common, whether it was genetics or their star alignment, Suzuki did it better. So it did need to be done again.
Yeah, I think my biggest complaint with that episode is Chris Carter trying to rewrite himself. And there was no point to it. We touched on that in the episode. It's very much a redheaded stepchild of Syzygy, and very off the wall, very poor cast choice for the main character, I should say. It didn't fall together the way he wanted it to, and it's like, you've already told this story, so what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yep. No, it's I give it a lot of credit for the production design, but
that's about it.
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, they have people doing their jobs, and the production crew definitely did their jobs. They have some good visual gags. The red or the pink and the blue, the Mulder sliding into the manhole, that's fine. The huge wrestling arena fight scene, I mean, that's hard stuff to do. It's a lot of work, but other than that, it's just the story itself just does not hit.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
Excellent first choice, Vic. Shall I give my least favorite worst? All right, well, my least worst of season 7 is episode 20, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally in alignment there. Okay. I mean, for me, a clear giveaway of a weak script is when the end of the episode is narrated by a monologue.
Ooh.
And
you don't like a voiceover.
No, don't like the little summation. And they did a little differently, to their credit. They have Scully giving a summation of all the events to Argyle Saperstein for some weird reason. It's like he's suddenly in their office.
Suddenly a friend.
Yeah, I kind of want him to come back for future episodes, right? Maybe they were testing him out to see if he was going to be a good little sidekick.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, keep going.
Well, what can I say that we have not just said? Production design good, Kathy Griffin bad. Definitely not. Definitely not a good episode in season 7.
To comment on the monologue ending, I wouldn't say it's a giveaway that it's a terrible episode, but it is one of those things where it's like, okay, and maybe I need to pay a little closer attention to the story. I'm going to rewatch this again. Because if they feel the need to just wrap everything up in a couple sentences, then maybe things were not as good as they were hoping. But
I would challenge you, Mike.
Say it in episode is
exactly.
Always kind of the thing, right? It's like, why didn't you tell us that already?
Right.
I would challenge you, Mike, to identify some episodes that do end with monologues, or Scully typing up her notes. That's in at least
I would say
4 episodes in season 2.
Pilot episode's good. Ends with Mulder's regression tape. It's essentially a monologue.
No, that's new information. That's not summation of the episode, though.
That's true. That's true
information. You're wrong.
Whatever. I mean, what Scully gives us is new information.
Yeah.
She tells us what happens after the big fight and kind of what's going on. I mean, she does give us like, well, these people should never know each other, blah, 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 all that stuff. But,
What is interesting about it is they do it by Scully doing the slideshow that Mulder would normally do, because he can't do it because his jaw is wired shut, which is a funny reveal. But yeah.
And there are good moments. I think
that was the only way they could get out of that episode was with a sight gag.
Yep. And it's like hoping the audience forgives what just happened to them.
Yeah.
The assault on our eyes.
On everything.
I think we covered it in that episode, but the best moment easily comes in the first 5 minutes when Scully and Mulder are in the office and she's trying to guess, what the case is and what's going on. It's another great moment between them. It's a shame that it is wasted on this episode.
That is such classic X-Files, though, right? To bury a good plot nugget inside of a shit episode, to otherwise give it some weight, I suppose.
Right.
All right. Well, Mike, you're up. What is your least worst?
Well, I'm gonna bend the rules a little bit, but I'm not the only one to have done this. Thank you for that preemptive drum roll.
I thought you were, but you said, well, I'm good. About to. And I was like, oh, he's about to drop the nugget. I better throw the sound effects.
No, you're good.
All right. Tell you what, you throw me a little finger bang when you want me to do the drums, eh?
I will do that moving forward. We don't have to do it again.
Excellent. Okay, I'm standing by.
I'm not the first person to do this, but I'm going to combine 2 episodes. Sixth Extinction 1 and 2 are my third least favorite episodes of the season. So I'm counting them as one because it is very much one story.
Yeah. Well,
very fair.
Yeah.
I mean, really where to begin, right, Andrew? At the end of season 6, Mulder was suffering from abnormal brain activity. In fact, it was so active that it was preventing him from acting or thinking clearly. And I'm on the fence with that already. So then to have Scully in Africa for 2 episodes, uncovering truths and having revelations about aliens and world religions, it just falls in a weird gray area for me because, one, it's been 6 years. We need Scully to believe at this point. We just do. It's time. She's seen way too much to keep up this skeptic thing. And then 2, it's like, this was not the way to go about it. I just don't think that having her investigate a crashed alien ship in Africa, which has this double meaning of where all life began and the world religions, like, she didn't need this story to become a believer herself. I think it's very clunky. The visions she has mean nothing. The revelations, like all the world's religions are on this ship, that's kind of cool, but at the same time doesn't really move anything forward. The sight gags, not so much sight gags, but the visual effects that they employed for the blood sea, could have done without that because that looked terrible. And again, means nothing because we have no idea what any of these revelations or visions are supposed to mean to the greater plot. And I think, honestly, it was just this weird hodgepodge of ideas and visions that Chris Carter threw together to have an episode that seemed bigger than it really was. I mean, there are a few moments in that where it's like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. Like the writing on the ship. But I think all he wanted us to do was get Scully to a place where she just can't deny things anymore. And I think they could have done this in a much better way.
I agree with you. I think it's a fallback they use often where they'll have these like parallel experiences that are saying believe, and to bring Scully justifiably on board, they'll involve her faith somehow. And it just becomes like super predictable. Like if this is the avenue, then the work has been done on that as well. Like they're kind of shining a light on the fact that she's had 2 different avenues of belief leading her to the same conclusion. And they still want us to believe that she doesn't believe.
She pushes
believe
back
more times than Cher now, but yeah.
That is the worst crime of this episode and episodes that come along is they go to such lengths to make her believe, and then she doesn't. She goes back to the same shtick of, Mulder's that Mulder guy, and I gotta be on the other side of the issue because that's how they've cast us. That's the only way this series really works is when they're bandying back and forth across a divide of belief. But in this one, they tried something. I think it was a big hot mess.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was on board, or not on board. I was on the fence at the end of season 6 with the whole Mulder's brain activity. I was like, okay, what are we doing here? Is he becoming superhero? I don't like that. And I'm glad they pulled back on it at the beginning of season 7. I'm happy with that. But at the same time, it was like the jumping off point for this really terrible 2-parter. It's like, and then he just gets better. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine now. So, okay, we don't hear a thing about it for the rest of the season until, something coming up, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know. It was just a whole bunch of half-baked ideas that he really thought sounded cool and just kind of threw them all into the episode as if they mean more than they do. The only thing that means anything to this mythology to the X-Files universe, to me, is that the aliens brought all the religion to Earth. That's new, and it's definitive information. Other than that, I don't see anything else here that's really worth anything.
You know, I don't want to derail us too far into this terrible episode, but I would just say that the idea of aliens bringing all religion to the world is kind of ridiculous.
It is. Timeline-wise, it is absurd. It is absolutely absurd. Yeah.
And the idea that, you know, it's all on the ship and somehow it's all disseminated to unique countries and there's no crossover. Right. Mm-hmm. And just if you what even begin.
I think I should clarify. It was interesting. I didn't say it was good.
Well, no, like even the idea of like the Judeo-Christian ones along with like Islam is it's kind of like those that have distinct timelines. So what do you mean that Judaism and Christianity were introduced at the same time? In what way and how? Like
yes.
Yeah, like this is an evolving lore. Sorry for those who aren't, you know. But it is an evolving mythology that does not happen all like we weren't handed it at the same time.
Wrong.
Or weren't we, Vic?
We were. We were handed everything. You've got it all wrong, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, not to derail us, to give any credence to that horrible second place episode, according to Mike. Good choice for bad choices. Look at us. We made it through the first three.
All right.
Hey.
Actually, that wasn't the one I wanted. I wanted this one.
You wanted the audience.
I wanted the audience. It's a little bit of patting on the back, so you can edit that one out. Well then, second choices then. The middle worst?
Middle worst.
The middle worst? The middle liverwurst. Vic, why don't you hand it off to us? What is the second choice of the worst episodes of Season 7?
The second choice of the worst episodes of Season 7 for the crime of boring me is Season 5 episode Rush. I don't care. These high schoolers running around being real fast. Like, cool. To what end? You know?
Oh, I think you're going to have some fighting words with Mike on this one because I think you got a secret attraction to Rush.
I know I'm fine with it. I wouldn't say it's a great episode by any stretch, but I would say that I don't think I mind it so much. It's obviously another teen angst episode, right? So
I think
there's bound to be one each season, just about. I would say it's of the better of those types of episodes. The bottom being, of course,
no trees were kidnapping anyone technically in this one or anything.
Yeah, but that is a horrible.
For me,
episode.
It was just kind of like a forgettable. Like, wouldn't really bother to either second watch it again to hate it or to love it or whatever. It was like, all right, that's Rush.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I think that episode has one of the worst plot crimes I have seen in an X-Files episode, which is the decision of. I forget what her name is, but she's also super fast. See, that's how forgettable it is. We don't remember their names.
I don't remember their names right now.
She decides to die, by putting herself in the path.
Yeah, that was freaking stupid. Because now all she does is implicate the kid who lived.
Exactly.
That was my argument. I remember that now. Yeah, because you've got 2 dead people and 1 alive person in a cave with a gun. Whether or not his prints are on that gun, he's still going to jail.
They might as well be. Yeah. The way the cops were looking at him the whole episode. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that was one of those, we need a sacrifice that's really epic. And I'll grant the episode this. It looks cool for the time.
Oh, cool visual
really
effects,
really good effects in that episode. I enjoyed it.
There was some other stuff I took exception to, which was the idea of the super fast kids, like all the other exceptions to the laws of physics that have to be in place for those powers to work, like in being immediately able to burst past a camera so that you're only a blur. Like that is breaking the speed of sound. And thus, in the locker room, there should have been a little nuclear explosion for what happened in there. Yeah. But I guess the power allowed it all to just...
You have to just accept
compose.
in this this show that kind of thing can happen. And I get what you're saying. I do understand that. I think my biggest issue with the episode was the speeding car thing, where he leaves the driver's seat, gives the kid enough time to realize what's going on, and then come back, save him, and move all to end at, T-boning a tree or whatever. It's like, this just seems too clunky for me. Like, that's a lot of movement in a short amount of time to make this happen. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But again, cool scene, but.
Well, if I recall correctly, that was the moment they needed to splurge on their visual effects budget, so that we see him moving in slow motion and the car is just inching along and he grabs him out, and then it would make sense.
That would be.
But they decided to do it later, where we've already figured it out and we don't need it. So, well, I think that's an excellent choice for mid-tier worstness. I will submit mine for approval, which is to say it is my second worst choice. Amor Fati, second of the two-parter season intro for season 7.
So let's go over it all again.
Let's do everything I just said once more. I won't add a lot, obviously, to what you said, but there's just so much bigness, but nothing actually happens. Like, this could also be in here for the crime of boring me. As you so aptly
absolutely.
Put,
I think that's definitely a failing of the episode, to be the point where I'm just not interested in what's happening.
Well, and the episode isn't either, because by the end, Krichko gets killed, in like two seconds of screen time, and Fowley is dead off stage. I mean, this is...
Off stage is a crime. Like, come on. You had Mimi Rogers. Do something.
And talk about burying the lead. Like, we've got Scully come visit, recovering Mulder, blah, 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 this other thing. And, oh, by the way, they found Diana Fowley's body in an alley somewhere. I guess it might have led with that, but...
That I would say is, like, kind of on brand for how they've got Scully always being jealous. For her to be like, oh, BT dubs, your bitch is dead. And then just, like, walk away. Like, maybe
that
she would. I don't know. You whore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't...
the one who tended to you during your sickened hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
your shirt
put
off.
him there in the first place.
Yeah. So there we go. Amor Fati, may it rest in peace, as my second worst episode of season 7. Mike, we're ready for you.
All right. I think I'm going to surprise some people with this one. I had goodish things to say about it. And when preparing for this episode we are doing right now, I had to get a little real with myself. And I have to say that my middleest, least favorite episode of season 7 is... Closure.
Oh. Well, my goodness. I'm surprised. I thought you were about to go orgasmic on it in the top 2.
No. And I'm not gonna dig on it terribly. I don't hate the episode, and I think I was clear about that in the actual episode record. It's just Samantha deserved more, and I am let down with how they decided to kind of shoehorn her story into essentially one episode, because the one that came before it, Sinun Zeit, not really about her. It's about the missing girl. And the problem with this episode is that they reference something that comes from season 2, which is cool, quote unquote. I'm sure that's what they were going for. They brought back Drake from season 2, the episode that they
not his name
referenced it in, even though it's not the same guy. But then they get the material wrong. So these walk-ins in season 2 are these supreme beings who kind of take over someone's body and enlighten people, whereas the walk-ins in this episode steal children and implicate the parents for crimes that are just atrocious.
Yeah.
Under the guise of saving the children. So honorable goal, dishonorable execution, I would say. I don't really know how to feel about that. So it doesn't make sense to me there. But the 6 years leading up to this, 6.5 years, it's like you are wanting to know what happened to Samantha Mulder. And she is at the heart of this conspiracy. She's why Mulder's doing what he's doing. And to have her just kind of exit stage left in one episode, not even tied to the mythology. While I can be okay with her going out in a supernatural way, it just feels undeserved, unearned to exit that way. The story was not good enough for it to be that short, if that makes any sense. And I think our big complaint was that it should have been the goal of season 7 as a whole. Have a few episodes where he's uncovering stuff, searching, or putting more effort into it, and then have something be like, this is the end of her story. This kind of piggybacking on a kidnap victim is like, that's not good. Despite how good I think the moment is when Mulder sees Samantha again, that's really all it's got going for it. I don't care about Harold, the psychic dude who throws a hissy fit at the end. He can't believe his son's dead, storms off into the night. His character doesn't ring any bells for me, and it's all about that scene on the hill, and that's the only reason I watched that episode.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that one of my dishonorable mentions before we get to the top worst was Signs and Wonders. It's funny, I didn't put Closure in there as well, probably because I didn't want to offend you. But anyway, my issue with Signs and Wonders was this religiously themed episode, which is not about Scully, which is kind of refreshing. Oh, no, that's not the one. I want to talk about Sign and Zite. Yeah. Just don't remember.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah. Just.
I was like, what?
Imagine I didn't say anything.
That's interesting tie-in.
Yeah, no, the Sign and Zite. The decision to have Mulder's mother kill herself made no sense. And then the monumentally ridiculous method of the angelic aliens saving kids, eventually, after taking their freaking sweet-ass time, eventually saving them from fates worse than death. And then framing the kids' parents for the abductions, like none of that made sense. And then the Samantha tie-in, as we've gone on and on and on about in season 7, how we would have preferred it to be more about Samantha, about the finally resolving her status after teasing it out for several seasons. Like, we have seen lots of Samanthas, but to get the final answer, anything would have been more satisfying to me than what we ended up getting. And having Mulder, look to the sky and say, I feel free. It's like, well, I guess the writers feel free, not being laden with the decision of how are we going to get out of his corner we painted ourselves in. But yeah, I don't blame you. It's not a great episode.
The problem, I mean, admittedly, they would have had to change the course of the show and how that show exists for this to really work. But, they would have to go more burn notice with it, where every episode has like a snippet of information or something. But,
right.
I mean, they didn't have to do it that way. They could have done maybe 5 mythology shows in the season leading up to this or something, and then come at us with a story that's a little bit more CSM's involved, maybe, or maybe she's still alive and he kills her or something. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just saying, could have done something else rather than these asshole walk-ins who just want to kill parents and make sure they go to prison. Weird episode.
All right. Well, I think we've made it. I think we made it through the second tier of bad episodes. Yeah. So good for us.
Yay.
And now it is time. We have finally arrived at the very worst episodes of season 7. Who's excited about that? I know I am.
Yeah.
Vic, lead us off. What do you think was the worst episode?
I'll ask for a drum roll on it.
I will. I'll need the finger bang.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. My least favorite episode of season 7 was episode 11, Closure. I let you guys talk through it, and I was sitting here going,
I was sitting here going,
it was coming up.
That's all you can do.
I knew that you had something to say on this, and she's like, she's not saying anything. So
listen, you can call it closure. That doesn't make it closure. Yeah, it felt like the most flaccid attempt at wrapping it up because, like Andrew was saying, like they were burdened by what to do with Samantha. The tying it into Signed and Zate was lazy. Like, what in the JonBenet Ramsey is like this idea that like little girls go missing and let's blame the parents and like, oh, it was actually some other thing. Like, it was just a very weird tone, very weird choice. I didn't mind the casting for the psychic, but like also you chose Dr. Chilton from Silence of the Lambs. Like, I don't trust that guy.
I don't mind him. It's just his character doesn't do anything for me, and then his exit is pathetic. Have a more emotional reaction that's like coming to terms with it. Don't make him petulant and storm off into the night, because what does that do? I don't know.
You're never going to see this guy again.
Because here's the thing, is like if you have, so you have this idea of someone who is connected to the spiritual realm, giving other people answers, giving other people closure, and the character turn of they themselves being unable to accept the answer that they were able to achieve themselves is interesting. That's an interesting way to do it. And I didn't mind that so much. But I got none from the scene on the hill. Like this is like this little girl this little child actress I've never seen before is supposed to be Samantha. And I'm supposed to feel better about this because I don't get it. I also very much agree. This could have been a 5-episode arc. I wanted to see one just at that base where they find out, like they find her diaries. She lived with Spender her whole, like, what do you mean? What do you mean she lived with Spender? Like, do something with that. Like, give us something more from that, you know? Give us more from Cassandra leading up to this, where like she knows more, you know, instead of the like generic, like, you don't know what happened to your sister, but maybe I do thing that they plant. Like, give us, you know, set the dominoes up.
Well, and I think that this is just a magnifying glass, and I hate to say it, but it's the way it comes off. So if I'm wrong, Chris Carter, please give me a call. It just puts a magnifying glass on we didn't have a plan. When we started this show, we had big questions and big ideas. We didn't know it was going to be this popular, so we had to write it as we went. But this episode is just like a big magnifying glass on, boy, you really didn't know where to go with this story, and you chose an obscure, uninteresting tie-in to just wrap it up in one go. And it's like, she deserves better. Samantha deserves better than that. No, go ahead.
It feels like they were partway through Signed and Zate and they went, oh, what if this also happened to Samantha?
Yes.
And then they wrote the next episode. Like, yeah. But you were saying, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, like, I don't hate the episode. I refuse to, because maybe I can't deal with it. Maybe I'm Harold. But I mean, I do really like that scene with Mulder. For me, it works. The music, whatever, great.
It totally I will say work for me because it is so one-off for him. It's like the writers decide to give him a little 2-minute side scene where he walks into the back 40 with some ghost kids and gets this pathos of seeing Samantha and the realization of where she is. I mean, in any other lens, you'd say Mulder just had himself a good trip. You know, he's hallucinating, but never will come up again. You know, when he says, I am free, that is code for this is done and behind us now. You know, I will never have this superpower again. I don't need it because it was purely for this plot point. So it's just so lazy in terms of writing to decide this is how it's going to go out. Because I'm convinced when they have these kind of episodes, they have objectives, scene objectives. We're going to have a scene where this happens. We're going to have a scene where this happens. And we're going to have a scene where this other thing happens. And the whole episode is just, what is the connective tissue between these moments? Mm-hmm. So they wanted the little kid garden at the end, and they needed to figure out how to get there from here. Garden. And I think they just ran out of gas, you know.
The last thing I'll say is to not use the Samantha Mulder we've been with since season 2. Bad idea.
Her hair was even curly. What do you want?
She didn't do anything wrong. I have nothing against this child they used, but sorry. Not Samantha.
Hashtag not my Samantha.
Not the my Samantha.
Samantha shot first.
Excellent choice, Vic. Excellent choice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will descend upon you with my choice for top worst episode of season 7, which is episode 7, Horizon.
Oh.
I don't think Mike's going to see any surprises there from me on that one.
You know what? I completely forgot about that episode. But now that you mention it,
my vitriolic hatred during the last 30 minutes of that.
I laughed listening. Like, I listened to the pod while I'm walking my dog, and I was just walking around the time giggling at how angry you were, Andrew. You were so mad at that episode.
I was so angry. I mean, it's a worse retread of Irresistible. There's so many plot crimes. They decide to actually make Donnie Pfaster the devil for no reason other than it's cool. They have the dumbest fight scene and again deny Scully the opportunity to resolve her own crisis. Mulder's going to come in on the flimsiest of clues to charge in the rescue. And then the killing of Donnie Pfaster by Scully in slow motion.
Murder?
Yes, the premeditated, one would argue, murder. and then ensuing cover-up.
Yeah.
That's the episode I want to see. I want that to come back every 4 episodes. Just be like,
100%.
What happened with Donnie Pfaster? How did he get shot?
Yeah.
And then have them like shred a document with his name on it or something. Just and by the way, back to the episode.
They make reference of it in another episode that will come up, where a landlord says, yeah, well, not specific, but like a landlord is talking to Mulder about
she's
how
such a great tenant.
Everybody is. People are like, she's a great tenant. People love having an FBI agent. And he says, do you know how many people have been murdered in that apartment?
Yeah, that's enemy. Enemy or whatever.
Yeah.
They feel safer having an FBI.
And you know what's funny is he plays it like a joke, like it doesn't actually happen. But
yeah.
Oh boy, I'm not going to start because I'll just get angry again. But boy, I did not like that episode.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I think it's, God damn it, I've got a soft spot for Nick Chinlund, so it sucks to say bad things. But yeah, I mean, the episode's, it's whatever, man. It is middle of the road for me. It's obviously not on my list so far. But
look at that. Oh, if you put it in the top 3, man, I'm going to come down to Wisconsin and I'm going to kick your ass.
Well, we'll see. I think the biggest stuff with me is Donnie getting to where he's going. The whole diner scene's a mess. Where did he get the car? Where did he get the keys to the car? He's running people over now. It's like this is weird.
There's some missing scenes.
I like the concept. Yeah. I like the concept of the hallucination, the rhythmic tapping. Like, it's a cool idea, but again, they just didn't flesh it out correctly. And to bring Donnie back for such a lackluster episode, I know they wanted to give Scully her revenge, I guess, because, he, to quote Mulder, did a number on her head like we've never seen back in season 2. I guess that was the goal, other than to have a fun character retread. But
she doesn't. I mean, ultimately, she does it in the worst possible way. It's like,
who cares? She gets it, man. Fuck murder. She's good. She's too good to be arrested.
Yeah, I have no objections to Scully murdering him. I'm fine with it. For me, like, Donnie Pfaster was like right up there with Toombs as far as like terrifying villains. Like in his first appearance, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that character is horrifying. But making him a literal devil really undercuts that, because the terrifying thing about him is how possible someone like that is, right?
Yes.
And then to like, you know, be like, kind of excuse it, like excuse the human behavior by making it demonic, undercuts the horror. And it was just kind of a waste. They could have just had him back without that, and it would have been scarier. Yeah.
I would have much preferred it just to be he manages to escape. There is no, religiously themed deliverance from prison for him. No slow motion walkout. Just he finds an opportunity and he gets out and he's going to go and get his revenge or go on another crime spree.
Yeah.
That episode writes itself, you know?
Yeah.
I think it would have been a much more terrifying episode if they kept out the devil stuff and just put him in situations that had tension. Yeah. Like, you don't know what's about to happen. You don't know if something's going to happen. Have him near women or something.
His mild-mannered calm is terrifying.
Yeah.
So just have him there, like, in that way.
The game I'd love to play when we do these kind of, this part of the review is, how does the episode get better? What's a better version of this episode? And in my view, he is out on the streets, or he's escaped and he's out
trying to fit in.
Trying to fit in. And I think the conceit of that episode is you're waiting for him to do the evil thing. You're constantly waiting for him to break, and he never does. So what is the thing that finally breaks him? And then we have our resolution. But I think you have a great amount of bait of switch possibility for him just being out there. And you think, he sees a woman and he matches her type, but he doesn't do it. It's like, when is the thing going to happen?
Or have it happen like over a series of episodes, like at some, like, at one point be like, he's out.
Yeah.
And that's all that they know. Yeah. And then like they're tracking like a direct line on a map of murders that are headed towards them or something, and they're just like, and they can't find him until,
Because he's a devil and he hides in shadows.
I'm just realizing we are rewriting season 7, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be much better after.
You know what the weird part
is?
I'm actually excited about these things that we're putting forward. So Samantha's getting 5 episodes. Donnie faster. We're getting clues to Donnie 5 episodes before it actually happens. We're getting all this stuff that would be so cool to have happened, but it didn't.
It didn't.
And I will say this. That would have been a really sweet way for them to say goodbye to the series. Pick a bad guy, or pick a couple things that you can bring back and do these really cool extended story arcs with. They're like little mini story arcs to do season 7, and then we're done. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been.
But we didn't.
But it's not. We got this instead. So on that note, Mike, what is your worst episode of season 7? I'm staying by the drum roll.
My least favorite episode, ladies and gentlemen, is Ex-Cops. No, I'm kidding. It's going to be Fight Club, which, I just can't forgive it. Can't forgive it. I'm not going to say too much. We've already been here, but Chris Carter just retreading himself and doing a really piss poor job of it. Kathy Griffin, I appreciate you as a comedian and what you've done for female comics, but nope,
not well cast here.
And this just goes on the scrap heap for me. This is not a good episode, and despite the positives of this episode, I never ever want to watch it again. And then final thought. Mark Snow, how dare you?
The music in that episode is, I'm convinced he wrote it back in season 2 and is like, oh, we're coming to the end. I better find a way to use this.
It kind of fits that way though. Like there are a few in season 7 that I'm like, the energy is very season 2, season 3, but like Fight Club in particular. Yeah. I think even the casting would have been better received. Like in season 2, like I have nothing against Kathy.
And I don't either. She's a talented person. I just can't.
Absolutely, it
45 minutes.
Yeah,
she's the wrong actor for that role. Where it comes to, like, she literally walks in the bar and this giant face says, I was just coming in here to have my lunch, and I'm like, what? Nobody.
But that's just
it's the sitcom acting in the procedural show that doesn't that just doesn't work. Yeah.
The casting tells you everything you need to know. Her character, because it's Kathy Griffin, you know this episode is going to be bonkers. Not necessarily bonkers like slapstick comedy like it might want to be, but okay, so we're not supposed to take anything in this seriously because Kathy Griffin's a part of it. She's a comedian. She's a Laugh Factory girl, which is fine. But now that she's the number one character in this episode, it's like, okay.
Number one and two, yeah.
I'll give one thing to this episode is we finally give the stunt doubles for Mulder and Scully a whole scene of their own.
That was a fun misdirect at the beginning, or like near the beginning. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted to see with Gary Shandling and Téa Leoni.
Téa Leoni.
That would have been funny.
That would have been awesome.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
Well, look at us. We made it through the worst of the worst for season 7. Look at us.
Yep. About time.
Leave all that behind us. Now for good stuff.
Well, now we go on to our top 3 episodes.
Well, Vic, why don't you lead us off with your third favorite episode?
Yeah, sure. We'll stay in the same order. That sounds good. My third favorite episode of season 7 was... Finger bang. Enemy, which is a pun on enemy and in friendship, which is what ennemi means in French. I thought very clever title, very well applied. I like this episode because it's a well done mythology episode. You've got a lot of the things that we like. Mulder and Scully are separate. Cigarette smoking man is there. It both answers questions and none at all at the same time. It sets up things for later seasons that piss me off, but it's fine. I'm glad they were thinking ahead and like in any sense they like left room for something. And that's cool. Weird that William B. Davis wrote it. I admire his ability to write himself and his own character so well. Very cool. That's my number 3 episode of the season.
It's a solid episode.
I enjoy that one a lot.
I too am impressed by William B. Davis. The chutzpah involved with his writing the episode essentially with Scully in mind. Very much upfront with the idea of him saying he wanted to have more scenes with Scully.
I want to be alone with Jillian.
I want to be alone with Jillian.
That would be my pitch too. If I were to write one, I'd be like, give me Jillian.
I think that's everyone's pitch.
For a week and a half, please.
I've got a tango scene.
That's why I'm blocked on Twitter.
We had to cut that scene, William. We can't have any how do you say softcore porn in this. So
we've moved on.
We will allude to things, but we will not just do anything. Yeah.
He literally does have a water skiing scene that apparently was cut. And I'm like, okay, bring it all stops home for season 7. Why not?
I tell you what,
which is a good throwback because they make reference to them. He's a better water skier
than Mulder's dad.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat one. I didn't like some things in it. Oh, right. I made allusions to The Spanish Prisoner, the movie, Steve Martin movie. And just the idea that everything has to fall in line a certain way for the con to work, and that at any moment, if she turned left instead of right, it would have all unraveled. But I mean, the name of the game is this story happens the way it happens, so just go with it.
The idea of the directions being 15 minutes out into the lake, as someone who lakes, That's not good directions.
You
That is not helpful to anybody.
You just go 15 minutes.
Okay.
Just go, and I'll
Yeah.
call you when you should be there.
I think we loved the idea that the lake just is a loop and like goes around to his backyard.
Yeah, because he gets back before she does.
Yeah. And that's not how lakes or driving work either. Like, yeah.
It's more of a lake / river.
He's like snowshoeing really fast along the shore.
or the henchman. Oh my God, we laughed a lot on that one.
Oh,
the idea of the henchman. What was it? The moment where he intercepts her mail? This idea of seeing him in the background with his legs flopping at the mailbox.
Yeah. We wanted to put in a good Jim Abrams moment of him trying to get into the mailbox and then it tipping over or something.
Totally different episode, but
that would be a moment. Good episode. I do like the episode. It is solid. It does have its moments like we've talked about, but other than that, I do think it's a really good episode. And even though, you know, Mulder's not huge in this episode, you feel there's urgency behind him. And I believe his actions for this episode.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you can sense his frustration with her too. And I think that was just all very well played.
Although I didn't terribly like the moment where she's on the phone with Skinner and she says, "Oh, tell him I'm fine." And then they hang up and he looks over and she says she's fine. And then Mulder goes, "She's in trouble." It's like, based on what exactly?
Yeah. So actually interesting. I was telling Andrew, I watched the episode today with my partner and he's new to the X-Files. And after that, he said, do they have a code word or something? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, you'd think
they don't.
Based on that reaction. But nope.
Yeah, that would have been worth it.
Scully's never fine.
She never says fine. She says okay. That means that's her code word.
Snap into a Slim Jim. She's in trouble.
Well, excellent choice for your third favorite. I will move on to say my least top episode, my top 30th. My 30th episode for season 7 is The Amazing Malini.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The amazing. Oh, sorry. Do you want the whole drum roll and applause?
No. You like got all bubbly when you spoke that. Can you just repeat that for me?
The Amazing Malini.
Oh, okay. And cut. Good choice. Interesting episode.
Hot take.
Elaborate. Written to show off the primary principle of magic, misdirection. It's a good caper episode. Definitely compressed into 42 minutes. You tease it out, it does not hold together well. I'm pretty sure I said that. How did they get there so quickly? You know, the travel shenanigans at the very beginning, definitely not our fave. How did Pinchback know the FBI would respond? How could LaBange know one agent who'd had his magazine switched by Pinchback and, you know, doesn't get shot to death? If you just gag the voice in your head, which has these questions, then you'll just enjoy it fine. Like Ricky Jay, he's just fun to watch.
Absolutely.
He, I apologize a lot, I think, for the episode because of that. I liked it. I walked out of there liking it.
That's interesting. I'm surprised this is on your list. Not because I don't like the episode, but because I don't recall you having like praise behind it. But I'm just going to say interesting that you brought this up right after Anami. Where you complained about if things don't go just right. And this is literally an episode about things need to go exactly the right way for this to actually work.
You know what the difference between Amazing Malini and Anami is, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ricky Jay.
Okay.
Apparently he's enough for me to just swoon on into Amazing Malini and just forget.
I honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. I think the episode's great. It's just a matter of, is this an X-File? Answer being no.
Is Anami an X-File? I mean, if I'm going to if I'm going to hate
cure to everything, yeah, that sounds like an X-File to me.
Yeah.
I suppose.
The cigarette smoking man specifically is orchestrating. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. You've got me there.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the episode's bad. I'm just having fun with you right now, Andrew. But I would say that there are definite stumbling points for me. The speed with which they got there, like you said, the neck turning around thing or head turning around thing. They don't even approach an explanation, which is fine.
How? Like just a pole up the bum to the head, and he's under the stage doing
that's
this.
The X-File.
Like he's under the stage, like turning it to make it go around. I don't know.
Doesn't make sense to me, but that's the X-File right there. Like, how does that even happen? And they never come back to it. So that's probably a failing of the episode. But other than that, it's an enjoyable episode.
I do like to throw you a curveball.
I remember watching it for the first time and it being one of my favorite episodes of the season, like back when I first watched it. I think now that we've kind of talked about like an alternate universe version, I think it would make a hilarious CSI Miami episode.
Wow. Yeah.
Seems like this evidence got turned around or something.
Then the Who come in.
Yeah. I like it though. It was one that I had on like my like long list to like review and then go through.
Yeah. Right on. Cool. Well, thank you for that. I believe that it was mine. So now, Mike, what is your least toppiest?
All right. As it always is, the top three are the hardest to choose. So even in season 7, when there's a couple stinkers, I'm going to go with my third favorite episode, and that is Hungry.
Whee!
Interesting.
That's all one. It was on my short list too.
So this one, it feels like a no-brainer. I mean, Vince Gilligan, obviously. But what really draws me into this episode, it's just a fun take on a bad guy. You know, a monster seeking to better himself and stop his compulsive eating. It's also a unique thing to follow the bad guy so closely to the point we actually are rooting for him to do the right thing or to succeed in his quest. I think we talked about it, Andrew, but, you know, we're on his side until he kills his neighbor towards the end. So another tight script, again, by Vince Gilligan. Played with the actors' schedules because they were both busy, David and Jillian. It's humorous and just overall a fun episode. I think the main character does a really good job. One other thing that kind of attracts me to this episode is the mental health aspect. I think very interesting to look at things like compulsion and the journey to better ourselves. Granted, it's obviously a secondary or perhaps tertiary aspect of this episode, but still. I think it's a very relatable journey, despite the horrific things he's doing.
I agree. I liked the support group aspect and like the chewing the gum and like all these different kind of like the appetite suppressants. And also like the outside perspective of someone in his body type taking appetite suppressants and talking about how he can't stop eating. That's a different lens than we would normally see in that conversation in media at the time, especially. Also, like, you know, the character was really cute for someone so vicious, you know, like so mild-mannered. He had a very cartoony voice. Yeah. I liked Hungry.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode too. And again, Vince Gilligan can do no wrong for us. I think it just highlights Vince's ability to take an idea and tease it out to its logical conclusions and beyond. Like really explore an idea as opposed to other writers which pack too much into a script. And in this case, it's perfect. It turns right where it needs to turn because you're on his side far longer than you should be. You know, he's the bad guy. He is doing... It's
only like the last 10 minutes, I think, that maybe you doubt him because of he kills his neighbor.
That is right about the point where it's like, it's got to start turning that way because, you know...
You can't allow him to live his life after
what's the resolution of this going to be if he doesn't, you know, get killed or stopped in some way? So, yeah, it is basically perfect as an episode. But not perfect enough for me to put it on as my top.
I think I know what's your top episode.
Oh, well, we'll find out soon enough. But that is the first tier, our top threes. Congratulations on making it this far. So now we will loop around to the mid-range, the second top, the second best episodes of season 7 coming in hot. Vic, tell us about your second choice.
Yep, I got a decision to make here. The Sixth Extension. I'm just kidding. My second favorite episode of season 7 was the Goldberg variation.
Solid.
Yeah. Rip Willie Garson. What a lovely addition to so many different shows and movies. It's just a charmer of an episode. I like that it's a little whoopsie daisy in the violence. And I liked it a lot. I think it was a good whodunit kind of situation for the two of them to solve and put together. Very well cast. Good time.
Yep. Yeah. By solid episode as well. I will say, I think there are probably like 6 episodes in season 7 that are vying for our top 3 choices. Mm-hmm. And I think that it wasn't one of mine, but that is to say it's not my second or first choices, but it's definitely on that short list. And it's really good. I think it was just a little too neat for me. Like, yeah. You know, you knew that there was no real harm that was going to come to this guy because he's basically impossible to kill. So it got to a point where it's like, is there any real danger for? I think you kind of want me to feel like there's a threat, but in the end, I know it's, there's no possible way this comic character can be killed. Mm-hmm. Everything is going to work out just fine. So
I think I'm okay with that kind of stuff when it's approached in the right direction or in the right manner. I think with an episode like this where everything is so cartoony, and they set that up early. I mean, they throw a guy off a building and he walks away. That's pretty cartoony. That's almost Roadrunner Coyote stuff. So
it's the definition of plot armor, and they just covered him in it.
You just don't even need to think about it. So I don't think about it because I'm on board with whatever they're going to throw at us after that point because it's a very compelling opening and very fun. So I think I just kind of set aside my real world reservations with this episode because you know where it's going. It's telling you this is where we're going. And if done well, Fight Club, I hope you're listening, that is okay. It's people are still dying in the episode, but it's
in the most ludicrous of ways.
In the most ludicrous of ways. It's cartoony.
We care about.
No, exactly. So. They're all bad. They're all bad.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Die. So it's not like it literally is a cartoon where no one dies or they're getting shot in the head and they're somehow living. There's still consequences in this universe, just not for the main character. So,
Okay, fair. Well, excellent choice, Vic. I approve.
You?
All right, Andrew.
All right, my second favorite episode for season 7 is Ex-Cops.
Excellent.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know you're thinking, if that's not first, because frankly, there are a lot of folks that I think would put that as first. And I went back and forth a lot on whether it would be first or not. But come on, this is another Vince Gilligan episode, and we've been waiting for it for seasons because he pitched it. I guess we didn't know about it.
We didn't know that.
But we've kind of been waiting for it in a existential sense. It would not have been possible without a whole bunch of other episodes that poke fun of the X-Files leading up to this. But it stands out because of it. It's making a parody of itself. And it just works. It just works so hard in Cops. The actors are on board. I love how Scully reacts to the camera crew. The decision to use the Cops camera crews to film it is so Excellent. Brilliant. As a show, as just an episode on its own, it's so brilliant as a concept piece. So it can really do no wrong with me.
I think this is obviously one of those episodes that I stopped myself from being able to choose.
Yeah.
Because it just knocks everything out of the fucking park. It's the production of it is spot on for obvious reasons, like you just said, the camera crew, the acting, the guest stars of this knock it out of the park again. They're no names essentially. I've never heard of these people, and from the sheriff's deputy to the sheriff to the Steve and Edie, every single one of them I love when they're on screen. And how many episodes can you say that about everyone who's in it? It's just a stellar performance on everyone's effort. And I refuse to let myself pick this one. So this is an obvious top contender for season 7.
Yeah, I hedged a bet that it would come up. So I'm glad that it did, that we would talk about it. I love that they clearly the two television shows worked together because they established even small things like who would have signed the consent form to have their face filmed and who wouldn't. Like, the way that they worked that out, because like the sketch artist would have signed a form, so he's shown all the way through. Whereas Chantarelle, or I can't remember her name.
She's not guilty,
right?
She's not guilty.
Shantara
wasn't proven guilty in a court of law, so she's allowed to have her pixelated face. But she also
wasn't on their side either, right? And she would have died before she could have signed anything, so they worked that out.
Yeah.
Steve and Edie were just wonderful, and like again, a positive depiction of a queer couple at the time on television. Clearly cared about each other, but were, also had their little nitpickiness. Like, just so well done. And the way they built disbelief in that episode with everyone, so good. So good.
Yeah. I like that Mulder's initial take on I often joke he's got the superpower where he can just tell us what the plot is going to be in the first 20 minutes. And it never happens. Like it takes to minute 38. And then he's like, you know what? I think it's because it's night, or whatever. He finally puts the pieces together, but it's constantly changing. And the sketch of Freddy Krueger, chef's kiss, man. So good.
Hilarious reveal. Almost as good as the Jersey Monster, the Jersey Devil sketch that we got back in season.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think, honestly, and we can move on after this, but just the cleverest way to have a bad guy you can't see. It's done so well that you don't even care you can't see this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Classic. Well, thank you for that. So then it just comes to Mike giving us the second favorite episode of season 7.
So I think this one's going to fall in, actually the next two, I think are going to fall in the category that I approached last year, where I just blew expectations out of the water and chose episodes no one really thought about. So this episode, my secondest favorite episode of season 7 is Thief.
Good choice.
Yep.
Good choice. Yeah.
I think this one is just a really good episode. I think it's a return to form for the show, which coming off of season 6 and some of season 7 is a little bit refreshing. It's gritty, interesting, dark, and delightfully spooky at times. Oral Petey is a man on a mission, and his determination is very frightening. He does not have a care in the world outside of exacting revenge, even if the revenge gets a little goofy at times. My only real beef with this episode was how Oral knew to take her head later on in the episode, how he knew he would be on the trail of the agents. I can't remember if Andrew and we settled that or not, but that one just struck me as weird. That he was kind of
I don't think we came to a resolution there.
Yeah. It falls together a little wonky at the end, but overall, music is fun, story fun. Mulder and Scully having that really small through line throughout the episode of her always keeping him guessing.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Come back to that line.
And they come back to it at the end. Just a really fun episode, a dark episode. And I have to, absolutely, I have to call out, the practical effects for some of it. So good stuff.
Yeah. I was just double checking that it was Vince Gilligan who wrote it because it feels like one of his and I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. But like what a character
Yeah.
he is. Like Orville, like it's just so well imagined and so clear that like he sticks with me. Like he's like an X-Files like canon character for me that like I think back on. Just the way he speaks, the way he carries himself, his like single-mindedness, like so incredibly well done.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great episode.
You do. And great eye makeup that they put on him just to give him a little
Mm.
bit more shadow over his eyes. Just terrifying.
Like, yeah.
So
Well, and it makes a great point too about like, you know, medical professionals and doctors do their best, or do they? And like, you know, and what that would feel like to a family member who's been let down. And obviously we don't go to extremes.
And that's the thing.
But
is like,
that is a real feeling that people have.
I don't think Oral's wrong, but I don't think the doctor's wrong.
No.
I think they're both legitimized in the way they think things through. It's,
yeah.
I mean, Oral obviously going on a murdering spree is not the best way to cope, but I don't blame the doctor for making the choice he made. I believe he did what he did to save this girl pain. And that's honorable. It's commendable.
Had two opinions of medicine. And, you know, yeah.
Well, this one was not on my short list. I didn't put it on my didn't likes because there's enough good stuff, but I didn't put it on my top, you know, my likes because there's a couple of things I don't like about it. One is the obvious exhibition bombs at the beginning,
right?
Sorry, exposition bombs, like, you know, Dad saying, "Oh, well, I guess I get to stay in the house of the top surgeon." And
well, we were all wondering it.
Yeah,
we're like, what are you so happy about, sir?
Yeah, it's like they have to compress so much information up front.
I'll give you that.
So didn't, you know, that set a bad tone for me. And then Father's death at the beginning, where he hangs himself and writes the name in blood. You know, I guess I had a hard time getting past that. Like, I know it was meant to be shocking because that's what the pre-credit sequences do. But even into the episode, I was still sort of harping on this, like, I don't understand how that physically can happen, you know, and that the explanation was he suddenly had this massive brain disease, which made him do it. And, you know, there's a lot of convenient stuff that happened in the plot to sort of explain it away. And it's like, no, I think, as I was saying at the time, like, there are other ways to have that scene to make just as much of a statement and be much simpler to explain in the plot. So they kind of convoluted it for no great reason.
What did he hang himself on? Was it the top floor banister?
It was on the chandelier.
It was on the chandelier. Okay. Yeah, that I don't believe he does.
Doing bed sheets or whatever.
Yeah.
So he slits his throat, writes thief in a very legible and clean manner.
Yes. And then hangs himself.
Runs upstairs to hang himself. He lassos like in Indiana fucking Jones.
And
the chandelier, and then jumps off.
Silent, by the way, because only the alarm going off. It's like, oh, honey, the alarm went off. It's like, meanwhile, outside, you know, he's probably screaming in pain, you know, in an insane way, because now he's got Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease or whatever. But
yeah, the speed with which he would have had to climb those stairs with a severed jugular, I don't think that works. So you are correct there.
They already did like was it Creutzfeldt-Jakob? What was it that you said? They already had an episode about
My Town.
Yeah.
But
that
was a nice little throwback, but
it was, but I think the thing with that, the whole point of that was to showcase the exotic ways that people are dying, that it made it stand out. And I'm okay with that as a plot device. But the other thing I didn't much like was the final conflict between Oral and the doctor, where essentially we learn why he's on his murderous rampage. You know, you killed my daughter when, you know, I could have saved her. It's like, you were not there, my friend. You know, you were right. There's a story we did not get to see about the daughter's escape to the city and how she dies in this tragic bus accident. And, you know, where is Oral in all of this? Like, there is no way that he could get there to enact the saving.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel it's a bit empty for him to say, you know, you killed my daughter. It's like, I just didn't wait 20 minutes for her to die screaming. You know, it feels a bit more built up than it is. And if they wanted that, then they needed to give us more of the backstory. So,
and I can understand his leap of logic, Orals, to think that he is that good and that if he had just been there, everything would have been fine. I don't care if I lived 2 hours away in the mountains. If you had given me that chance, I believe this guy makes that kind of fucking leap in logic because, I mean, he goes from my daughter died, you didn't give her enough time to I'm going to murder everyone you know. So, I mean...
You know what it is?
But he also accomplishes extreme things in this episode. So, like, I kind of believe that he would have, at the very least, had an impact on his daughter's health if he could have gotten there in time, right?
But that's the point. He couldn't get there in time. Like, I don't think he was aware, at least that plot point's never caught up, that, you know, he was at the hospital door slamming to get in, but they wouldn't let him in. You know, there was none of that. If they
that
had
would have been
that,
interesting.
Or if they said...
But then
he could have said, I could have brought her back if you didn't pump her full of drugs. You know, if you didn't kill her, I could have brought her back. I would have been okay with that too. But this idea that, you know, you ended her life prematurely by 20 minutes, you know, no concept of saving her pain or whatever, it just skipped over. So, I mean, I like a lot of stuff about this episode. Don't get me wrong. I do like the relationship between Mulder and Scully, but there's a lot of things about it that just like, this doesn't land well for me.
Fair enough. Good stuff.
Well,
all right. That's my number 2.
Oh, you know where that leaves us then?
That leaves us with number 1s, Andrew. Vic, we're there.
We're
the top there. Of the top, friends.
Well, before we get to the top, now we can start to discuss the voting results from the Syndicate Facebook group we've got, where our audience gave us the following results. Oh, wrong sound clip, but I'm excited. Yeah. All right.
I have not seen this. I don't want to see it until just now. So tell me, Andrew.
Well, the number 3 choice in terms of popular vote was Thief.
Hey.
So clearly everybody knows better than me. It is.
We all know that, Andrew.
Surprisingly, coming in at number 2 is Requiem.
Really?
Hey.
Yes.
People like a throwback.
It's fan service. It did its job.
I think so. And I think the big reveal of Scully being pregnant maybe was, you know, and there's a lot of tender moments between Mulder and Scully there. It's the shippers.
Also, all that Billy Miles, people just wanted Billy back.
To be fair, it's a fun episode. I actually think it's good. I will say the word good with that episode.
I would be on that. And, of course, number 1 was, no surprise, Ex-Cops.
Yep.
I don't think there would be any surprises.
You can't argue with that.
No, it's such a good episode.
I am surprised by Requiem, though. I am surprised by... Actually, both Thief and Requiem.
Yeah, I would have thought other episodes might have ranked a bit higher. Like, certainly they placed, but they didn't outplace those 3. So I'm
actually shocked Hollywood AD's not on their choice. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for defying my expectations. This is actually really interesting. I like that episode. I know Andrew's got his issues with it, but
yeah, well, that wouldn't be a show without it. So. Yeah. From the comments, first-person shooter, Fight Club, and All Things were called out as worst episodes, though first-person shooter actually gets some love from some people. Not that it got any actual votes.
All Things, worst episode?
That's not the worst episode. It's an entirely different tone and doesn't necessarily suit the show or season, but it was, you know, but it served its purpose of a little bit of equity in the writing and directing, and I didn't mind it, and I liked that Moby song just fine. So,
well, that's good because you got a lot of it in that episode.
You did.
It's middle of the road, and I'm one of those people, not to go off on a tangent about that, but I think I mentioned something about it in the episode. Is that, you know, it's ideas that I latch on to, and this one was very much, did we choose the right path? Was there even a choice? That got me down a rabbit hole when I was younger, for sure. And this is one of those episodes. So there are episodes I probably give a little bit too much to, and maybe this one's one of them, but I do enjoy that moment between her and Mulder at the end, you know, kind of talking about things, however short it is. Just kind of opening that door for my consciousness personally.
Well, and it was nice to kind of get a reason why Scully left medicine for law enforcement, right? Because they talk about her dad's disappointment. They talk about that she did leave medicine for law enforcement, and the psychology of her leaving medicine because of a romantic entanglement with a powerful man who was single-minded, finding her way into law enforcement with a man who is very single-minded and fighting romance for all of these seasons. Like it, instead of feeling trite like it could have and like pigeonholing Scully, I think it showed, because of the different choices she's made working with Mulder, that it was a growth and an active choice on her part. I thought it was good Scully lore.
I gotta be honest,
yes,
that's good stuff. I think the going from one powerful figure to another is definitely a theme with her.
Yes.
Also, Jack in season 1.
Yep.
She's got an issue with authority figures and banging them, but
you date who you're around. Like you date your, the people
no
you see
judgment,
every day,
but it's definitely a character.
Unless it's Fox Mulder, you do not date him for 6 seasons. Thank you very much.
No, but he did date the British lady who was in Fire, and then Mimi Rogers. Like he did the same thing. We're just not looking at it the same with him.
Different for men, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
Though I didn't mind the Scully lore of all things. Actually, I did like what she did with it. I think if I miss anything, it's that we see the reasons why she left medicine, but we don't see any reasons why she entered law enforcement.
That's a great point.
Like she was mugged. When she was walking out of the medical school and she got mugged on the street there.
And she said, never again.
Literally, never again.
Put a stop to this mugging business.
And then she thought, I'll get a tattoo. And then, oh no, the ink's poison.
The ink is Jodie Foster.
Yeah. Did you ever see that show Bones, where there's the forensic pathologist who they're constantly analyzing bones from crime scenes? I don't know. Anyway, I've watched a couple of seasons of that. And I would say that would be more of a trajectory I could get behind for Scully. Like, got this medical degree. I can't practice medicine because of all the landmines that I've walked around out of that profession. But where do I take this knowledge? And it could have been anywhere. She could have joined the Navy. She could have been a Navy surgeon. That would have been on brand given her father's background, but she didn't go there. So that's the missing link for me, is why did she choose to go into the FBI? Maybe Jack from season 1, 2, I forget even where. Maybe that's the link. He was somebody that she knew and said, hey, there's this thing, you could do this here. I don't know. I'm inventing it at this point because it's not
you are very much inventing. You're unraveling Scully.
Not the first time I would invent something for the X-Files.
All right. Well,
there we go.
We get on to our number ones.
Ooh, I got goosebumps now. So Vic, lead us off with your top choice for season 7.
My top episode for the number 1 of season 7 is I Am a Fan, Service Me, episode 19, Hollywood AD.
Nice.
I know what it says about me and I'm comfortable with it. I love that episode. It's a good time.
Talk us through it. What pushed it over for you for the top episode?
It's kind of got a bit of everything, right? It's got the religious stuff for Scully. It's got like a lot of, you cannot explain it, but both of them see crazy things happen for Mulder and Scully. You've got Tay Leone, you've got Gary Shandling, you've got the silliness with Skinner. You've got Mulder trying to take the case extremely seriously, and Scully's the one who's like a little more wishy-washy. You got that hilarious scene where all 3 of them are in the bathtub. Like, it is a good, fun episode. And I appreciated it. I appreciated that in the movie, in the episode, they referenced the movie, Fight the Future. Like, that's very funny. Like, they did a great job. Hollywood 80 is a lot of fun.
They referenced the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. When Gary Shandling and Tay Leone are like in the coffin, and he's like, no ifs, ands, or, and she says,
oh,
instead of like ifs, ands, or buts.
I was like, what am I missing here? No.
And then they kiss because that's when they canonically were first going to kiss, but there was a bee. It was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the audience goes, no, in Fight the Future. Yeah.
So
I
behind the
didn't
scenes.
put that together. I just know that the show has bees in it. And I'm like, so they've talked about this.
You didn't see that?
I did. I knew that's what she said, but I'm like, okay, so he's been clued in on the whole bee plot. I thought it was just,
no, it was part of the kiss plot too.
Absolutely.
I did not realize that's what they did with that, but you learn something new every day.
Well, and when Mike learns something new, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. I mean, yeah. Whew.
You'll say good things about Hollywood AD, so I'll say some of the bad things. I was not in love with the bowl aspect of it. I can't remember exactly what I was saying about the time, but I just remember there were some things that rubbed me the wrong way in that episode. For all the same reasons you like it, though, for the Gary Shandling and Tay Leone, the hijinks, the bathtub scene, of course, it's a scene stealer right there.
Stunt running.
Yeah.
The stunt running is probably my favorite moment.
Oh my God, just the back and forth.
The background motion stuff is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had too many questions that they didn't answer satisfactorily, like the dead body and how the dude comes back from the dead. You know, he's
he comes back from the dead and then is back on the autopsy table and then is then back and fully formed again. And
and then he has a conversation about, you know, how he's embodying Jesus so he can pull off his hijinks. And I thought, why aren't you marching this guy off to jail? You know, it's like, clearly there are some crimes that have been committed here by this guy. And yet you are having a highfalutin conversation with him in his pottery studio. Mm. So yeah, there were some bits there that I wasn't sure about.
But it's not about that.
I know it's not, but listen, if you carry through in a way that makes sense to me, I have no problem. But if there are just a few things that rub me the wrong way, I will just gnaw on that like a dog with a bone.
Suppose.
Anyway, say some nice things about it so that I can.
No, we're good. We're good. And that went on a low note because Andrew just had to do that.
Bring it back up, Mike. Bring it back up.
No, we're good. It's a great episode. I enjoy it. Good for David for his last swing at the fences for the show.
Well, that's fair. Okay, well, thank you for that, Vic. That brings us to my tippity top number one choice for season 7, which is going to be. Well, actually, first I got to say about Requiem. It was a pretty good episode for season enders. You know, as far as season enders go, it was one of the better ones. We've had problems with some of the previous ones, but it wasn't bad. They pulled at all the stops. They served a lot of the fans. Lone Gunmer there, it's fine.
Are you done?
Okay, yeah, so that was good. All right, so my top episode, though, for season 7 actually is Je Suis.
Oh.
That's a good choice. I like Je Suis. Yeah.
Yeah, another perfect Vince Gilligan episode, completely unexplainable and unbelievable, but by the end of season 7, where the show may be going to end. They've given themselves a lot of license to do something like this. The Invisible Man gag, some of the best stuff that we have seen in this show. And it gets special marks for me. As Mike knows, I absolutely hate it when they drop plot bombs and then walk away from them. You know, stuff that is obviously beyond the pale for science. And in this one, they actually picked it up and ran with it. It's like, I'm going to show this to the guys from Harvard, and he disappears. So good stuff.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Excellent episode. And it's, Vince Gilligan again. Here he is.
Yeah, it's tough not to.
It's almost not fair.
It stacks the odds.
But yeah, no, I think this episode was really good. And again, the casting, I think everyone who is a supporting actor or actress on this episode really helps carry that weight in a way that's just very enjoyable. This is on par with the casting of Ex-Cops. I think everyone here does a stellar job. Will Sasso, obviously he's funny.
Leslie not getting that he could wish himself new legs. It's so good.
Funny. Just the stupidity, and then the even like the boat in the driveway, like that's
such
just
a good prop.
It's so there's such good like stupidity realism in the wishes that I really like them. And the monkey's paw bit when like Mulder's trying to make wishes and it doesn't, like very well done.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about the boat is the "you suck" on the second half of the episode. Because that would totally happen.
Yeah, it
would. All right. Well, thank you. And now for our final choice of the evening, Mike, send us to the bleachers there with your tippity top of of season 7.
All right. Well, this one required a lot of thought, but my number 1 favorite episode of season 7 is I think I'm going to turn some heads here. Brand X. This is just shockingly enjoyable for me. An X-Files episode that verges on public service announcement has potential to suck, but this one I think was pretty solid. I think the science fiction of the show really shines when it verges on just believable enough. And this one does it for me. I think it's good there. I can buy the story of a tobacco company fucking with plants and bugs to continue to sell their product. Obviously, they already do that. But this just takes it and ramps it up to the X-Files level. So, also, body horror, excellent. All we don't get in this episode is the creepy crawly bumps under the skin, which is okay because the idea of larvae writhing around in your lungs is just unpleasant to think about. So they accomplish the eventual effect quite well with good practical effects and bugs scattered around. Very gruesome stuff. But on top of all that, I would say that Daryl Weaver, such a good character. Yeah. A man who has one thing on his mind, himself and his cigarettes. He has no time for doing the right thing if it's not what he wants to do. And we've all encountered someone like this in real life. And Tobin Bell's gravelly voice is just perfect. Icing on the cake for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked this one.
Prequel to the Saw movies. That's how he got
right.
Yeah. So we got to get that guy. Yeah, I liked it. There were not too many things I didn't like. I think if I remember correctly, I just didn't love the long stall between him lighting a cigarette and then Skinner deciding to shoot him. It's like
that room would be.
Yeah, they're all dead, man.
They're dead. They're dead. He's lit that cigarette. It's been 2 minutes of dialogue. You're dead.
Yeah, for no other reason than he's monologuing. I cannot shoot him. But other than that, no, it was solid in the tension. It was very good tension in that episode. And I do love the turnaround for the security guy. It's like, no, I'll take care of Daryl Weaver. I'll go and take care of him. And then, of course, he gets the whammy pulled on him, and all the bugs erupt from him. So, yeah, solid.
And we can't ignore it. Even the miraculous supermarket gas station escape, even though it's goofy how that works out, gotta love it.
We called that so many times in season 7, the disappearance of the bad guy from view for no particular reason other than like it's cool.
Yeah. Well, they can't always budget for a bus to pass in front. They gotta come up with something else every now and then.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow,
that was a great episode, Brand X.
Yeah. I'm a fan. Now, were there any other bits and pieces from season 7 we needed to address, or are we going to put this into a box and never talk about season 7 again?
Overall, season 7 is pretty good. I think it's just got a few stinkers like we've talked about, but as does every season. I think the only other episodes I would mention are the ones I forced myself not to, and that's X-Cops, Just Wait, and Hollywood AD. I think those are such obvious candidates for top tier season 7 that I had to be fair to the other episodes.
You know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about first person shooter. Well, we pretty much referenced every other one.
Yes.
Or neither did we talk about Millennium.
At all.
And that you
well,
know
the
what,
three of us talked about Millennium for over an hour. Yeah, we
don't need to open that box again. My goodness.
Yeah, I love that. I liked first person shooter. I know that it gets like a little bit of flack because of, you know, the times and you know, the depiction of women and stuff, but I also think that they addressed that in the episode. So like it was very well done, and I thought it was fun having Scully come in at the end and be the one who kicked ass. Like that was great.
Oh yeah. And that's a great turn for her character, especially given what her complaints were at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be that bad. It did win the award for sound design.
Glad you came full circle on that one. Yeah, it's got its issues, that episode, but it's not totally terrible. Like I do like that they turn some of the of the tropes on their head. Like they make the sexy villainess have some sort of character.
I will say this. I think the fact that none of us even thought to pick it, because I didn't even think about it when I was referencing, I was like, what are my worst episodes of the season? Didn't even come up. And it's not that I don't know the episodes there. I do.
Yeah. I
just didn't think about it because it's not.
It doesn't have a lasting impact. You know, a lot of these episodes do stay with you, but first person shooter just sort of is tied up with a bow and you never have to think about it again.
Yeah. And I will say that I do have problems with the episode. I do have issues with how the computer can do what it does. But I guess in some weird universe, some weird way, it wraps itself up better than other episodes in the season. It's to the point where I didn't even think about it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if they had like made some kind of reference to what was the episode with Invisigoth? And
Kill Switch. I was just thinking about that.
They made a Kill Switch reference in it and been like, wait, what? Like that would have been very cool.
We said if you needed a sequel, it's right here.
Yes. If she had presented herself in a way to save Mulder because she had uploaded at the end of Kill Switch and Invisigoth shows up at the end of that, would have been so fucking cool.
Or she's actually in the episode. And I mean, I love Scully coming in to, you know, be the savior. But if she was part of it, at least, I think it would have been.
I would have loved if they just panned one of the rooms and she was like there. You know, and then you're like, wait, what? Who did I just see?
Yeah.
She's like, I want nothing to do with this. This part isn't my problem, but she's present. That would be funny too.
The interesting thing is it would be no less explainable than the bad guy being able to physically affect the real world. Her presence there. So if she had just shown up in the quote unquote game space, the electronic, the beeps and boops of this episode, she somehow managed to know what was going on and save Mulder through the computer system. Okay, I could buy that much more than I can buy the bad lady slicing someone's hands off with a sword that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it's because Daryl Musashi believed his hands were cut off, that they were actually cut off. I mean, that's the thing, right?
He actually believed. He lives in Neverland.
He believed it so hard.
That's the psychic surgery that they cover in Milagro.
Yes.
Yes. And Sleepless, the Vietnam vets, the guy who can come back and convince you that you're being shot. And so you manifest.
He could have lost his hands.
Preacher.
It's well established in canon.
This is totally a part of this universe. You can believe you've been shot. Yeah. Well, the only other episodes that we didn't talk about would be Chimera.
Yeah.
That's another one that didn't feel like a season 7 episode.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it belonged in 4 or 5.
A classic plot.
Yeah.
You know, now that I think about it, I actually would rank it higher. Like, it probably doesn't enter top 3 territory, but it probably would deserve an honorable mention on the basis of if you viewed it through the lens of this is an episode that sort of exists in and of itself. And the other point would be Mulder. What was it trying? What would I say about it at the time? Is that she never sees her reflection till the end. And oh, that's right. If Mulder didn't see the monster, if Mulder just saw her, it would make so much more sense but they needed the VFX to make it scary that he sees the monster. But
yeah, they dropped the ball there. I think that would have been so much better if she doesn't see, or she sees the monster, he sees her. That would have been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the shattering of mirrors didn't make sense in that episode either. I mean, I get they needed that as a thing, but it didn't really tie the room together, if you know what I mean. So
right on. All right.
Okay.
We're here.
That's season 7, ladies and gentlemen. Now we get tuned in for season 8.
I'm going to say it right here. I think the series gets a breath of fresh air coming up. So strap the fuck in, ladies and gentlemen. Season 8 on the way.
It just remains for us to thank Vic very much for joining us through this adventure of the top 3, bottom 3. Always a roller coaster ride to get to this point. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me back. This is a great time. I love the pod and I love being on it. Thanks, gentlemen.
Well,
absolutely.
Mike, do you want to have any last words to see us out from season 7?
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening, for watching, for being in the chat, for guest hosting, for everything. We are here at the end of season 7, and we will see you in a couple short weeks for season 8. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.